Hello, I'm Brian Williams, and this is the video, the type of learner you are for Critical Pedagogy 2 online session 1. So I just took the test, and I am a type 2 learner. So I originally didn't think I was going to be a type 2 learner. I did the test, and I was looking at the quadrants at a mathematical point of view, and I saw me being a type 3 or 4. So I was sitting there and looking at the slideshow and saying, oh, that doesn't really make sense. I think there's a problem with the test and whatever. So I started looking, and it turns out the quadrants are actually backwards. They're the opposite of what mathematically you would do. So I'm a type 2 learner, and this makes a lot of sense because, well, for example, these are all the notes on the PowerPoint presentations that I've been taking. So yeah, that makes perfect sense for me. I like to think logically. I make my decisions based off of logic. So I will sit back and I'll take a little bit extra time to make decisions, that I'm not really a risk taker. I like to look analytically at what I can predict before I actually do something. And that is a handicap at the same time as being really useful in the classroom, I think. So anyway, I'll show the charts to you. This right here is the learning cycle of teaching. Learning. So you see how I am really, really big on thinking and a little bit big on watching. The reason why I think I'm so big on watching was because that is the way I learned how to play piano. My first teacher was she did it mostly through impersonation, so that's why I think I'm a little bit heavier in that section. It could help. Alright, and here is the learning style type grid. And you see I am most definitely a type 2. So, some of the things that I'm interested in, type 2 for teaching is, one thing I really hated in high school was when teachers used notes when they were disorganized. And just made learning so much harder for me. And the thing that I see in myself as a teacher is I want to be very diverse with my notes, and I want to be very diverse if I give notes. I want to be very diverse with everything that I'm doing, so it's not going to just complement to one type, because I had quite a few type 1 and type 3 teachers, and they just drove me up a wall. I've never had a type 4 teacher that I'm aware of, but I know type 1s, I couldn't stand them just because everything was so, oh, how do you feel about this type thing. It worked out, but I would like to, when I get into my teaching career, acknowledge all the different types of students and let them, each one of them, grow equally. Now, I know I will probably lean a little bit more to type 2 because of, that's my learning style, and of course I want to teach that way. But having this knowledge about the different types really helps open up the avenues to help other students that don't exactly learn through analytical facts. So something that really helped me in school was exact facts. That's why I loved mathematics so much. So I will include in the future, like, I'll probably use facts for like music historiography type things. My goal is, when I get into a classroom, I want to engage all the senses. So, like playing a piece of music in the beginning, that would engage the type 1s, then saying a little bit about the music, the type 2s, then having the people look at the music and maybe playing a little bit the type 3s, and then hearing what we played for the type 4. That's generally what my basic concept is. So some of the advantages of being type 2 is going to be really real well organized. I have everything, like I said, on my phone, all the calendar updates. So I think my lesson plans will be very detailed and very good. I think that not being able to take risks is a big challenge with me. However, I've noticed the longer I've been in college and the more I'm growing, that my risk-taking capabilities are getting higher and higher. And I think the reason for that is because I'm put more on the spot to do things rather than think about it at the same time. My piano teacher will make me think and do at the same time, so it's kind of opening me up to type 3 a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to switch types, but so I'm thinking that risk-taking and seizing the opportunity, like Wink was talking about the other night, I think those won't be entirely that hard to do, just because I'm used to that. Like I said, I have students in piano, and I think some of the hardest thing for me to do is to take something that they ask and go on to it with it, but I'm still pretty capable of doing such. So I think one of the disadvantages is going to be when people don't write precisely, or they don't do exactly what I'm looking for. So I think that's something I have to work on, because obviously no two people think alike, and the different types are very different. So if I ask for a certain thing, there's going to be probably 4, 5, 6 different things that come out of it from the students, and I see that as a problem if I'm going to be very, very hyper strict about that. So there's some things I need to work on, and some of the advantages of being a type 2 learner. So I'm very interested in seeing what everyone else has as a type 2. So yeah, thank you for watching my video.